Hello everyone, here we have a SAT math problem. Okay, let's go to the question. Function f is defined by f of x equals to ax square plus to bx plus to c. The graph of y equals to f of x in the xy plane passes through the points negative 5, 0 and 6, 0. If the value of a plus to b plus to c is 210, what is the value of b? Okay, here we have the information. The graph of the given function passes through these 2 points. Let's consider the first point, negative 5, 0. X coordinate is negative 5 and y coordinate is 0. And we have the information y equals to f of x. That is, when x equals to negative 5, the value of the function f of x is 0. It can be written as f of negative 5 equals to 0. That is, when x is negative 5, the value of the function is 0. The same thing we can do for the second point. That is, when x equals to 6, the value of the function f of x is 0. So it can be written as f of 6 equals to 0. Let's consider this information. That is, a positive, b positive, c equals to 210. Now we can use Desmos to solve this problem. That is, we can get the value of b. Okay, in our first step, we have to give this function as input in Desmos. Okay, let me give the function f of x as input. That is, f of x equals to ax square positive, bx positive, c. Okay, now we have to take these information as input in Desmos. Okay, now let's consider the quantities we have on the left side of these three equations. This one, and this one. We have to take all these three quantities in a square bracket. Okay, let me take the square bracket. Then we have f of negative 5, comma, f of 6, comma, a positive, b positive, c. Let's close our square bracket. Now we have to take a tilde sign and again take square bracket. Now we have to consider the quantities we have on the right side of the three equations we have over here. Okay, so the value of f of negative 5 is 0, the value of f of 6 is 0, and the value of a positive, b positive, c is 210. Let's close the square bracket. Here I got the value of b, that is 7. Here we have the next problem. Okay, let's go to the question. 2 over 3 times 9x negative 6 negative 4 equals to 9x negative 6. Based on the equation above, what is the value of 3x negative 2? Okay, now we can use Desmos to solve this problem easily. So for that, we have to take this equation as input. When I take this equation as input in Desmos, instead of x over here and here, I have to use x1. And instead of equal sign, I have to use the tilde sign. Further, to evaluate the value of this expression, instead of x, I have to use x1. Okay, now let me take the given equation as input. That is 2 over 3 times 9x1 negative 6 close the parenthesis negative 4. Now we have to take the tilde sign. 9 times x1, that is 9x subscript 1 negative 6. Okay, now we have to give the expression 3x negative 2 as input. Instead of x, we have to take x1, that is 3 times x1 negative 2. Okay, here I got the value of 3x negative 2, that is negative 4. Here we have the next problem. Okay, let's go to the question. F of x equals to 2 times x negative 3 the whole square positive 5. Which of the following is equivalent to f of x? When I consider the function f of x over here, it is a quadratic function in vertex form. When we go over the answer choices, we have the quadratic function in standard form. That is ax square positive bx positive c. Okay, now usually we expand the square of the binomial over here and simplify and get the standard form of a quadratic function. But instead of that, we can use Desmos and solve this problem easily. Okay, our first work is to give the given quadratic function f of x as input. That is f of x equals to 2 times x negative 3 the whole square positive y. Okay, so click on the symbol and click on table. And now click on the stuff we have over here. And now change this linear regression to quadratic regression. Okay, here I got the given quadratic function standard form over here. That is y equals to 2x square negative 12x positive 23. Now we have to check the answer choices where we have this one 2x square negative 12x positive 23. We have this stuff in answer choice A. So this is a 1 which is equivalent to f of x. The correct answer choice for this question is A. Here we have the next problem. Okay, let's go to the question. Sine of 30 degrees times cosine of 60 degrees divided by cosine square of 45 degrees, positive tangent square of 45 degrees, and negative cosine of 0 degrees times cosine of 60 degrees. Here we don't need the trigonometric ratio table or the unit circle to get the value of each of the trigonometric ratio in the given expression. So we can use Desmos to get the value of the given expression easily. Okay, now let me take the given expression as it is in Desmos. So that is sine of 30 degrees times cosine of 60 degrees. Let me type it. It has to be divided by cosine square of 45 degrees. Okay, positive tangent square of 45 degrees. Okay, negative cosine of 0 degrees times cosine of 60 degrees. Okay, here I have taken the given expression as it is, and each angle measure in this expression is in degrees according to the question. But usually in Desmos, the angle measure will be radians in default. So now we have to change the angle to degree measure. Now we have to go to the graph settings on the right side top corner over here. Now we have the angle measure in radians. So just click on degrees. So now each angle measure in the given expression is changed to degrees. And also we got the value of the given expression, that is 1. Here we have the next problem. Okay, let's go to the question. A is 250% more than B, B is 50% less than C, and C is 60% more than 225. What is the value of A positive, B positive, C? Okay, now let me consider this stuff. That is A is equal to 250% more than. Since we have the stuff more than, this number 250 should be added to 100. Then we get 100 positive 250 percentage of this value, that is B. Okay, now we have to do the same thing for this stuff, that is B is equal to 50% less than C. When I add the information more than, I added this value to 100. Since we have the information less than, we have to subtract this 50 from 100. Okay, then we get 100 negative 50 percentage of this value, that is C. Okay, now let's consider this stuff, that is C is equal to 60% more than. Since we have the information more than, this number 60 should be added to 100. Then we get to 100 positive 60 percentage of this number 225. Okay, now we have to take these three equations as input in Desmos to get the value of A positive, B positive, C. Okay, when I take these three equations as input, I have to consider the quantities we have on the left side of all the three equations, A, B, and C. Okay, now let me take the input in Desmos. Let's take square bracket. Consider the quantities we have on the left side of all the three equations. They are A, comma B, and C. Now we have to take the tilde sign. Again, take square bracket. Now we have to consider the quantities we have on the right side of all the three equations. Okay, in the first equation, the quantity we have on the right side is 100 positive 250 percentage of B. Okay, now let's consider the quantity we have on the right side of the second equation, that is 100 negative 50 percentage of C. Let's take the quantity we have on the right side of the third equation, that is 100 positive 60 percentage of 225. Let's close the square bracket. Okay, here I got the values of A, B, and C. A equals to 630, B equals to 180, and C equals to 360. Our aim is to get the value of A positive, B positive, C. Let me type it, A positive, B positive, C. Okay, here I got the value of A positive, B positive, C. That is 1170.